Whenever I look back on our history as a college, I believe you can see so strongly that it's a story of what God has done. God has made a way for us to walk, and we've walked in that path. And it really has been a story, I believe, the last 25 years of the faithfulness of God. Well, back in 1982, I was principal of Christian Outreach College, City Point College as it now is, and I was having a Christian Studies lesson with some Year 9 students. And they came up to me after the class and said, "What's the point of having a Christian school if there's no Christian university for us to go to when we finish school?" And I remember saying, "Don't you worry about that. By the time you finish Year 12, there'll be a Christian university for you to go to." And I walked away and I thought, why on earth did I say that? I went back to my office and I sketched some thoughts, and in the end just put it away in the filing cabinet, thinking, well, we're going to do something about that one day. Then a few months later, I was having coffee with Clark, and he was fired up over something outrageous that he'd seen on a university campus, and he was thumping the desk and saying, "What we need in this country is a Christian university. What a pity we can't have one." And I remember saying, "Oh, but we can. I've got the plans in my filing cabinet." "Oh, get them out," he said, and so we got the plans out and got excited and talked about it, and Clark agreed to back it. And we just saw God open many doors. We were advised that we were going to need a link with an overseas university, and God provided that in Tim LaHaye's Christian Heritage College in San Diego. My plan for a Christian university had three objectives. Firstly, to provide a Christian alternative in higher education for young people who are looking to further their education at university level. Secondly, I was concerned to see a Christian presence in the higher education world in Australia, because the higher education world shapes much of our culture. And thirdly, I was concerned to support Christian schools through the training of Christian teachers. And I had a strong conviction that if we didn't train Christian teachers, then in 20 years' time our Christian schools would no longer be Christian. The initial plan was that our American partners would provide videotaped lectures and study guides and learning materials. We would provide local tutors, and our students would qualify for registration as teachers in Queensland.
As the Queensland Department of Education's representative on that first development committee, I had instructions to watch what was happening, because the State Department didn't think it was going to get up and get approved. But as a Christian, I knew God had his hand on this place. And what a surprise it was when it was all signed, sealed and delivered.
So on the 24th of February 1986, we began with 9 students, with me as the only academic staff member. And then Jacqueline Hawkins came a little later in the year to take up the role of registrar, which she then filled for many years subsequently. During that first year, we faced increasing problems with the local accreditation authorities, and it became evident that the American accreditation was not going to work for us. So if CHC was to survive and go ahead, that meant that we were going to have to accelerate the development of our Australian program. And that of course meant additional cost as well. And I think this was CHC's critical moment. We could have given up and said, well, it was a good idea, what a pity it didn't work. But Clark agreed to continue his support for the program, a very ambitious program as it was, and the continued commitment of the church over the next 3 to 4 years until the college broke even is what made the difference. So 1987 saw us launched into the process of writing our own Australian Christian teacher education curriculum. This was a big task, but God sent to us a man, Bob Pearson, who had great experience and led that process. And then a little while later, Robert Herschel came to join the staff, and with this team, we saw the successful accreditation of our Australian programs.
In 1987, I'm teaching at Christian Outreach College, and I had my first prac student from Christian Heritage College. And he was a Christian institution, a Christian tertiary college, who was teaching from a Christian worldview. The classes on campus were wonderful. There was debate and engagement and learning and interrogation. And from those years, so many significant Christian leaders have emerged. And this caused such a sense of belonging together, such an excitement that we were pioneering something new. And God was present and we knew He was.
This is not the work of clever people, this is the work of the Holy Spirit. Here amongst us we see that God has produced fruit. And so we see this story of obstacles overcome and difficulties and impossibilities overcome. And along the way as well, we've seen stories of blessing and rejoicing and progress and success. And for all of this, the challenges and the blessings, we say, to God be the glory.